Hello, Dr. Green. Thank you so much for your video. I tried to make one back to you on the computer, but I wasn't having good success. Probably don't remember what I'm doing wrong. Probably needed my camera. Um, I want to first say that thank you for taking the opportunity to make that video. As life has been lifing for me, it's not just lifing for me in my education. It's lifing for me in my church. It's lifing for me with my parents, with my children, my grandchildren. Just kind of a couple of things that's just really been going on. And I have asked myself the why about continuing at Beulah. I considered not even doing Beulah anymore and going somewhere else because I felt like maybe I needed flexibility, or I don't know, maybe I needed a whole new scenery. I didn't know. I don't know. You're right. I get really good for the first 6 weeks, and then all of a sudden I start to fall off. Well, that's one because life changed. Unexpectedly changes happened. One, I don't know. I think first of the year, my job situation changed for a company I've been with almost 20 years. Then have had some family challenges really during the whole time I've been at Beulah, to be honest. And that's just a true statement. My parents are in Indiana. I live in Georgia. I am the oldest of five. My oldest sister died here in Georgia. She died from congested heart failure, and she had also been on chemo for over 10, I'm sorry, not chemo. She had been on dialysis for 10 years. So when my sister died, of course, I've had to pick up the torch because I'm not the oldest, but I am the oldest living child now. I have two brothers and one sister that's still alive. And my parents both are definitely, my parents are both dealing with medical conditions that, of course, my mother is very strong. She had my sister when she was 13, I mean, when she was 14. So I only can do what she allows me to do. And lately, she has been allowing me to do a whole lot more. So I had to travel back and forth home. I have been traveling back and forth home a lot. Actually in town right now. Heard your video a couple days, well, early part of the week, and I just said to the Lord, I'm just gonna take some time and just reflect. I'm not gonna send back a message to her right now. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hear from you. I'm gonna kind of just kind of take some time and relax, because the travel is real. My why for being in the DMed program is for me. I have always been, I would say, in some areas, felt like the one that no one paid attention to. And so for me, all of my accomplishment of going back to school and getting my DMed and getting my master's in divinity, and getting the bachelor's and getting the religious studies and having an accounting degree, all that was all for me. Trying to get, I would say in my life, getting people to feel like that I was good enough. When I talk to you about why I really think I want to really push forward with doing my paper, is because ministry is real. It's real in many ways for me because I feel like many times, for myself, you are in a situation in ministry and you want to do so much and you try to do so much. But the minute that, I'm that person that I'm not going to really bite my tongue about certain things. If I see something wrong, I'm going to see something. I'm going to say something. I heard that slogan from someone. I thought it was Delta slogan, but somebody told me, girl, that is not Delta slogan. I don't know where you got that saying from, but that's what you say. But anyway, so I have been on this thing of journey of trying to do things that make me happy, that I feel good. I have 4 children, really 5 with my stepdaughter. Of course, me and my husband don't have any children together. All my children are grown. I have 13 grandchildren. And my daughters, them live a different life. But, so they go back and forth. My grandson, he lives with me. I was a foster parent, so I fostered my goddaughter. Just over the last 6 months, I've gotten her into her own place, and kind of just letting her move. So I thought my life was going to be okay. And then we get the news of my mother having breast cancer. It's a very aggressive breast cancer. they call it triple something breast cancer. So it's very aggressive. She had to do some very aggressive treatments. And I really haven't even been that engaged in my church, to be very honest. But one thing that the Lord has me in a moment of, even now, I guess sometimes you get into those moments of your life where you find out where your value is, where the place that you may be. So when you say there's a time and there's a season for everything, I understand. There's a time and season for everything. And even in the time and season that I know that there's different seasons, season changes. My dedication to my church, my dedication to Bishop, how much I love Bishop is very, very, it's just what it is. I love Bishop. I've been with him over 20-something years. But sometimes you got to wonder, are you growing out of something? And so then when you see something or you see things, you begin to question your whys on, why am I still in my church? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? So I understand when you said, why are you doing what you're doing? My why for doing what I'm doing right now with the doctoral program, it was for everybody else. But now I'm taking this thing and I'm saying, no, this is for me. It's for me first. It was for everyone else. When I say everyone, it was for Bishop Hodges, wanting to just follow through him saying, you can do this stuff. You need to do this, blah, blah, blah. Dr. Plant, who pushed me to go, and said, why didn't reach out to me when you were failing before? We probably could have worked out something. Because my mother was sick last semester. We just didn't know what it was, but we were going back and forth. The doctor kept saying they didn't know. And I was at the point, I think I needed, you got me an extension and I needed to do 4 more items. And I just crashed. I couldn't even write. I couldn't even think. But with all that said, I know that life be life. And then I have death in my families. And then we have my husband's cousin who my husband don't have any siblings. All his siblings are deceased. His mother is here, but she's kind of distant because she's more or less, because of her losing all her children, she's more in tune to the grand. So that I guess that's okay on this side. That's what he has to deal with. But then my husband's cousin had stage 4 colon cancer, and it was very hard. It was a rough. Having the experience of dealing with her and being a part of hospice and working in the hospice and just kind of just helping the family out, because I enjoy service. That's where my gift is at. If I could serve people all day long, that would be where I would be. If I had the opportunity to be in a job, I'm an accountant by trade, but if I had an opportunity to be in a service-oriented job, that I was just there for ministry and being able to talk to people and their family, helping out with, and which I do this a lot, helping out with funeral arrangements, helping out with the obituaries, wherever I can plant myself in that mode, that's where I would be, because those are the things that I have enjoyed being a part of. So my why is why I'm still taking this class. Why am I still doing this? Because we don't have, I enjoy Sunday school. I enjoy Bible study. As a child, we were raised with that. We don't have that at my church. And so because we don't have that at my church, I don't have the opportunity to be able to teach when I'm at home on those Sundays that I go home. My pastor be like, my mother's pastor, because he wasn't my pastor. He's my mama's pastor. My pastor died years ago, but he's my home church pastor. And he was like, you teach a Sunday school day. And I get such a joy out of being able to do that. And it makes me feel like I'm a part of something and I'm valued. And so my why is because of me. My why is just because this is just something that I feel like I need to do for me. Having children at a young age, being molested, having a son that I raised who was molested by my uncle, and I still had to have that baby. My mother would not let me get an abortion, and so yeah, life has been life, and you could only knew my story. And so when you talked about the why, I heard it. Will my D-Med and my masters give me what I want? I don't know. I took on the assignment of getting a certification in chaplaincy because I enjoy being around people that gives me my piece that I'm missing for the teaching mode. I mean, I'm paying all this money at Beulah, don't have the opportunity to teach, didn't have the CPUs, can't move nowhere, but I'm spending money at Beulah. but I'm not getting nothing. And so I started to say, Lord, what I need to do. And so I took this course for chaplaincy, and have had the opportunity of being a part of really working with people that are on hospice and being able to minister them and going and checking on them. I enjoy that. And that's just what I'm a service oriented young lady, woman. So when you said pulling back, so I have pulled back. I pulled back on some things and probably been pulled back or wasn't really doing much no way. But I have pulled back on some things from church. And when I say pull back, training for me is important. Being elevated to elder is important. With that, I knew what I felt that would bring even additional responsibilities. But nevertheless, whatever it has to bring, God says He will make room for your gifts, right? And so my gifts, they're making room for me to do. Dr. Abram, she gives me a platform many times to be able to get on her platform and speak the word of God. And it's such a plus for me because I feel like if there was something I was doing incorrectly, she would tell me. I get feedback, and those things are important. And so ecclesiastic leadership, and even for me, I feel like because you don't look like your pastor, or you don't sound like your pastor, you don't get to do the things that others may get to do. And so for me, it's just a matter of me making my feeling good for myself. Not a pity party, not a sorry. This is for me because I dealt with low self-esteem. I dealt with rejection. I've dealt with not being good enough. I've dealt with people telling me that I would never amount to anything. And so for me, if I start something, I don't want to quit. Should I quit? I don't know. And right now, I'm not going to quit. I don't even know if I even asked you for the word grace, but I did say, can I please have some more time? But I think you have given me a lot of grace, and I am very thankful. I don't like get Bishop Hodges involved in my business with school or with Beulah because I feel like, what's the purpose? Like, I need to develop the relationship with my professors. I don't need to develop the relationship with Bishop. I don't need Bishop to talk for me. I need to be a woman enough to say if I did something, if I need to fix something, I should be able to come to that person and talk to them directly. I don't need Bishop as my mediator. And I don't want to ever pull him into that because I respect him enough. When I say I don't need him, I respect him enough to understand his positioning. And yes, he's going to, I feel like he will say, well, just try to see what you can do to help work with him, blah, 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 blah. But out of all the years that I've been in Beulah, I think mine and your encounter was the first time that I ever had pulled Bishop Hodges in any of my conversations. Because I don't like doing that. Some people may feel like doing that is because, well, he's my bishop. No, I came to school. I pay for my own schooling. I'm not, even when I failed last semester and I tried to play makeup, it was just like, oh Lord, I just can't do this. I was annoyed. So I want to finish the semester out. I am not taking classes in the summer. Is my goal. I'm not. I'm going to take a break for the summer. And then if the Lord says so, I'll come back. And I think one of the things that's been bothering me is that I have a mentor. And my mentor was saying, how are you writing this dissertation and you haven't even got your subject matter approved and you haven't submitted things? So I guess part of it is like, I'm doing all this work, but I feel like that I'm getting stuck. Even sometimes when I'm writing something, I'm like, well, I already done put this down before. I don't know if this is if I upload this thing again, it's going to show that I plagiarizing my own paper. I'm just trying to work it out. So I took the time to take 20 hours out of my schedule this week. Can I do it? I could. I could literally get up every morning at 4 o'clock because I'm already up anyway. Work, read for about 3 hours, get ready for work, come home, and do something additional. I used to do it. It ain't lazy. Life began to life. And yes, if something happened to my mother, I needed to prepare my everything, all of the affairs for my parents to be in order. And that's what took me away January, February, March. Thank God my mother said, Stephanie, failure is not an option. You need to get there. We had a long conversation. She's like, I want you to finish that class. I want you to take the time and get it done. So I went through, looked at some of the stuff that I did in the past that I never turned in, resubmitted some stuff. Hopefully that the Antonia bibliography is right. I don't know. Hopefully my abstract, hopefully my questions might be questions that I had before. I don't even know. But I've submitted everything up to week number 11. I think week 10 is the one I may need your assistance and help with. I submitted something. I think my plagiarism was high, but I think it's because of the sources that I got for Antonio, and I didn't even say the word. But anyway, for week 11, week 10 is where I may have some issues. And then I think for week 9, I did something, and I took it out and I put it back in, and then it looked like my plagiarism might have went up a little bit, but it wasn't over 26. I know everything else was in a low number. So I've done that. I've done the discussion boards all the way through 11. I should have just kept going and tried to do the one for today, for the 12th, but I didn't. I need to stop because my brain is hurting. It's, what is it? Almost 11 o'clock. I started working at about 3. So I've worked 8 straight hours today. Worked 8 hours on some of it on Saturday, not straight. And I did a couple of hours on Thursday and Friday. So I want you to see greatness in me. I want you to know that I want this for myself. I want you to know that I want to just make sure I feel like we are women. Me and Bishop have our moments. Let me tell you. I'll be honest. We've had our moments because I'm that person to say, why don't I know how to do this? Why don't I know how to do that? And I'm that person. And we sometimes go at it, but I love him. And there's really nothing he can do. I'm going to be honest. The Lord hasn't told me to change my church, so I don't move unless the Lord says so. I have pulled back on a couple of the ministries that I was serving on, which put other people in leadership roles, which takes me out of being committed to be at church every Saturday morning and every Wednesday. I pulled back on some of that, but some of that was because of my travel. I will submit a letter to Bishop probably this week, and say throughout this program, I just want to get some grace that I'll probably do every other week for some things at church, and the other weeks when I'll alternate what I need to do for my classes. I do need help and assistance because I feel like I wrote an abstract, and when you do reading and like how you write your abstract and your paper ain't even written, and it's just so many things that I've looked at. I went to a workshop that Dr. Platt sent me to, and it was like the people had already gotten their topic approved, and I'm like, well, I'm writing on the topic, but it ain't been approved and submitted stuff, so I'm really confused on that process. So I would, and let me just, before I even go any further, let me say my prayers are with you on everything that you do. I understand the work that I've been doing with hospice as a chaplain. I understand more than ever right now. I promise you. I understand probably the level of seeing death, because I've seen a lot of death, not more than you, but I've seen a lot. I've watched people just literally die in front of my face. And sometimes for me, when I'm out, that's my therapy. It's like the peace that I need to be somewhere. So one thing I'm going to do is I am going to give my very level best. I want to pass this class. I cannot afford a failing grade in this class, I know, because my GPA is already on the borderline of being under 3.0 because I got a failing grade from last semester. So I cannot afford another failing grade. And so I'm not going to ask you for your grace. I'm just going to I'm going to ask you just to know that I will make sure from now until the end of the semester that I will turn my assignments in on time, and where I need assistance, I will ask. Now, for my few questions, I just wrote. I put it on a report and sent it in and said, "These are all the questions I had wrote before." I don't think I even submitted them, but I added to them. So if you need to say, "Nope, you need to take some of these out," that's fine. The annotation bibliography, I added some to what I had did before because I couldn't remember. I don't even remember. So I added those so you can look at that. But if you have time, I think you normally have time. I think you said on Tuesdays. Maybe I'll make it my business that to come up by Beulah. And if you have something in person, we can sit and talk. And ecclesiastic leadership, women for this diversity thing is really, for me, true to my heart because I feel like as a woman myself, even being in leadership, that if you don't fit a certain culture, if you don't fit a certain profile, you are not being used in your church. And so if you don't fit in the cliques, and churches have cliques, I don't care what they say, they have them. And so if someone doesn't like you, if someone doesn't really care for you, if they're in a leadership role, and I say men and I say women, but I say women because us black women don't always help support each other to move up. And I'm a firm believer from my studies, from the time that I've been in class, that leaders lead up. And so if you don't know something, someone should train you to do something. And then it's your choice. And I thank you for allowing you to speak to me and say, I want you to make that decision on what you will want to do. And no, I don't think you were telling me to quit. I know it was not what you was doing. But I know there's greatness in me. I know I can do more. And it ain't that because the greatness is not there. It's just life has been life. And my mother did her last round of this particular treatment on last Monday. She will go back for her next PET scan to see how this cancer is doing on the 4th of April. And so she told me, she said, I want you for the next few weeks to just take your time and get your papers done and do whatever you have to do. I'm going to do my level best to focus on just that. And so I just ask for your help at just making just on this piece. I need some help with a little bit of my outline. And I think that some of the books that I wrote down are books that I kind of just looked at. And just looked at like the summary of the book, and some books I've listened to in my ear because when I travel, I do listen to a lot of books. So, Dr. Green, I appreciate you. I thank God for you. I believe that you are in my life for a reason. I feel like that women need to stick together much more. I'm still so much in the series of wanting to do the women. I still do the series of Women of the Bible through the Bible in March with Dr. Abram, but I feel like that should be a full series within the school. I do want to teach. I do want to instruct. And I do want to do so much more for the kingdom. And I just want you to know that the reason I'm in this doctoral ministry is because it would be more that I feel like I would need to have that, because maybe that would allow me to have the opportunity to walk in and say, Dr. Forson is here, and it may make a little bit of difference. I don't know. But I do have my certification in chaplaincy. I also have been working with a young man who has given me the space for hospice, which I have been enjoying. Bishop wouldn't agree with it, but guess what? I had to obey God because there's something that I needed. I like to do things, and when I felt like I wasn't really being able to do things in my church, I sought the Lord for it. And I said, the songwriter said, I sought the Lord and he answered, right? And I sought the Lord. He knows what my heart is. My ultimate heart desire is to get this doctor in ministry, and to be able to be an entrepreneur or work at a hospice or a funeral home, and just learn more in that capacity. Whatever service is where I want God. And it ain't about title. It's about doing kingdom work and doing the will of the Lord, and teaching the word of God is one of my passions. It really is, because it would drive me. I would feel in this doctoral program, if you were doing something even in a teacher mode right now, it'll keep you in the mode of reason. When you felt like you're going, like, oh, I can't fall behind in this because I got to do X, Y, Z. And it would just give you that extra boost of energy that you need to move forward. So thank you for taking the time to do the video for me. This is the only way I know how to do the video for you. I'm going to send it to you, and you're probably going to get it on your phone. And I do apologize because I don't know no other way to send it. I could try to email it to you, but I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it. But I will do my best to do that. Thank you so much. And my prayers are for you and your family. Praying for your brother. Praying for everything that you're going through. My condolences to you and the losses. And just know we're in this together, and I'm not going anywhere, and I'm trusting God. Unless I'm not going unless God says so. So I'm definitely seeking God. I will say, even in doing things in the community, I got involved in the community stuff because I wasn't being used. And God gives us gifts and talents. And the one thing I don't want the Lord to say to me is, I gave you some gifts. I gave you some talents and you did not use them. And so because you did not use them, I'm going to take them away. So iron sharpens iron. It allows the things that I'm able to be a part of, a leadership training. I'm actually going to a training in July for leaders to be a better leader. I promise you, Dr. Green, I really want to do so much more and move forward in the things that God would have me to moving forward in. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You're going to open up your email. You're going to see my name in there. You're going to open up the class, and you're going to see that I, even before, after I had listened to your video, that I took the time, I sought the Lord, I prayed, he answered, and I finalized as much as I could to get me up to speed. And I think if we're on week 11 and next week is week 12, I think I should be in pretty good shape. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And again, thank you for that platform. One other thing, while I'm thinking about it, if you could just let me know is what lessons need to be done for the week that we had I forgot what it's called. When we did the week of training, I think there might be some assignments that I got to turn in for that. But if it is, I don't know where they're at, and I didn't see anything. But I do see where it says upload assignments. So I just need to know what I need to upload for those. And I know that would probably be about all of the assignments that I would need to continue completing. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed night.